You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 25th meeting of the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board of Managers. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
The April 25th, 2023 meeting of the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. May we have the roll call, please?
Becky Greenlaw, here. Pat Harris,
Present.
Corinne Myers,
Here.
Stacy Benning, present. Martha King, Adam Konechny,
Here.
Laura Krentz, here. Mike Seitz, Doug Waters.
Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you all for attending and had a great meeting last month at Blue Chip and some very good information shared, and we had our sponsors for the boat race there, our major sponsor, and Jack is going to talk about that a little bit later, but some good things going on this month, so I'm happy to have you all here. Do we have any public comments at this time? Okay, moving right along, we have our minutes out to everyone, and I'll ask for a motion to approve our minutes.
I so move.
Second. We have a motion by Laura Krenz and a second by Stacy Benning. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, roll call vote, please.
That's right.
That first one always is. Roll call vote, please.
Becky Greenlaw.
Aye.
Pat Harris.
Aye.
Corinne Myers. Aye. Stacy Benning.
Aye.
Martha King. Aye. Adam Konechny. Laura
Oh,
Krentz.
I will. I just was gonna.
Doug Waters.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. For my report this morning, I'll just give a brief update on the status of the account that we're looking to open to handle some of our reserve funds, to get a better performance out of it and actually have some additional money generated from it for our activities that we want to do here at the Bureau. And Becky Greenlaw has been working with Gail to get that set up, and also Jack. And we're in the process of completing the paperwork. We've been assigned an officer from the bank to work with us, and it looks like maybe in the next couple weeks that should be all resolved. So, moving right along with that. Now, our treasurer's report.
All right. So for March 2023, total accounts payable of $161,496.63. Total payroll of $81,815.81 for a grand total of $243,312.44. I am also submitting statements of our financial position, profit and loss performance, and the bank reconciliations.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion to approve our financials as presented from Doug Waters and second by Corinne Myers. Any questions on the financials? Any suggestions or comments?
Thank you.
Hearing none, may we have the roll call vote, please?
Doug Waters.
Aye.
Laura Krentz.
Aye.
Adam Konechny.
Aye.
Martha King. Aye. Stacy Benning.
Aye.
Corinne Myers. Aye. Pat Harris.
Aye.
Becky Greenlaw.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you for that. That brings us right into our CEO report. Jack, want to give us some update on all the things wonderful things that are going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you can see by the agenda, today is a relatively light day with regards to, you all had a lot of activity the first 3 or 4 meetings of this year, a lot of contracts we had to get out, and that's all done, as you know. Appreciate the board's support on getting all these contracts done and out, and it's kind of put us in a really good spot this year with the fact that the 5-year sponsorship with the big race. We're just now, every day we're figuring out the advantages of that we hadn't thought about even. So it's allowing us to just redo a lot of things marketing wise that are going to be out there for 5 years. We don't have to stop readjust and go every year. So we're kind of getting our hands around that on a daily basis, but it's also opened up the doors. Some other sponsors are starting to talk to us a little bit. I think when you get one like that, other folks see, oh wow, so there's been some interest, and we see that as a real positive. So from the race itself and from the contractual standpoint with all the other events that we're doing, there's nothing on the agenda today that we need to move forward. It just some staff updates that they're going to give you. And Linda and I are in the process. We should have a marketing and business plan ready maybe June, I think is what the timeline is. We switched vendors that's helping us put this together. We used the NITDC director, Dan Barris, and his staff to help us work on this year's marketing and business plan. And Linda thinks the update probably will be June. Yeah. So that will be coming, and I'll make sure that obviously that's our moving forward. That's what guides us between that and the budget. Those are the two guiding principles that we work off of. So I want to make sure we get out plenty of time so you all can put it back, readjust any questions, because that's an important document to us once we have that out. I'm really impressed where it's going. I've had more involvement in this one than I have in the last few years, simply because of the whole changes we've made with heads and beds and some of that. But Linda's got the marketing side of that, pretty much tied up, her name in, and ready to go. So we're excited about getting that out to you all. That'll be the next big document that we get to you, and again, I'm going to give it to you in plenty of time, so we're not rushed on approval on that.
And I just want to add to that, when you get that document and you start looking through it and you see all the things that are being done, if you have any questions, you can call Jack or Linda, whichever one handles the question that you need to have answered. Feel free, and I encourage you to call and just talk to them about it and make sure you have an understanding of what it really means. Or, we're all intelligent and we all know a lot about it, but just where their thinking is on those things, and challenge these two. They make a lot of money. I'm just kidding. No, but really, go ahead and have a direct conversation with them on those items in that business.
Yeah, no, we encourage that. Believe me, we used to years ago. The consultants that we brought on actually involved the board early on in the process, and there's I see some merit to that also, and maybe we might do that next year. Depends on how involved you all want to get into the process, but the end result's going to be the same. If you see anything at all that in this document that you would like to expound on or get more information on, we got plenty of time. There's nothing, we're not under the gun to get it done in June, July, we're fine. So that's my project, I guess, between now and the next meeting. Update from our partners in South Shore, Lake County. We've told you they came on as a member of the regional group again. Very active. Our staff and the Elkhart staff and the Porter County staff are all being hosted by Lake County in June for just get all the staff together, and that's going to be really nice. It just adds to the collaboration in the region, and we're just real happy with that. It's going to open up a lot of doors. We've got all the youth sports stuff, contracts nailed for the year. We're done with all that. Park department, I think we've got now that's a vendor meeting. We're pretty much done with everything that we're presenting to the park department now for all the events. So we're in great shape with that. So I'll let the event directors respectively come on, but let's before that, Amy's not here today, so you're going to head up to
Yeah. So just a quick report. I have placed on your table, and that's for our attorney, just copies of our recent brochures that have come out. The Indiana Toll Road 2023 exit 39, 49. We also list the hotels in there, and then the map icon. And on here we have the Washington Park Zoo, Lighthouse Place, Premium Outlets, and the LaPorte County Historical Society Museum. And then every year we buy the inside back cover. So this was due probably late February. So we knew we had X insurance and so on, but all the other changes that we've made since then were not incorporated in here. And then also we have the dates and so on. So this is out on the Indiana Toll Road. The 2023 Lighthouse map is out. We advertise in this annually, but it also places our old Lighthouse Museum and our lighthouse in here. So this one, just for the month of March, we got over 2,000 leads from them. So these are addresses that request copies of our visitor guides, and they're over multiple states. Orchards Farm and Garden, which is one of our publications. This is the new updated one. So these will be going out to all the different farms and so on. But these are probably one of the hottest things we have as well, because everyone's trying to see what's in season and so on. So that works out great for us. And then I also gave everybody a copy. A couple weeks ago, there was a power breakfast downtown at Uptown Social, and the new property that's coming up at the You Are Beautiful site here in Michigan City did a presentation a couple years ago. Some of us went to Pittsburgh. It's a Trip by Wyndham, and actually saw one of the properties where they actually took over a building in a community and turned it into a hotel. This one's going to be much more elaborate. Everything is in here for you to review and so on, so I won't go into a lot of detail. But at this power breakfast meeting, we had probably developers from 6 different states there, and it was just really interesting just to hear some of the plans. One of the things with this particular hotel that I thought was cool, especially being so close to the beach, was they have bunk beds in their rooms, and a lot of families travel, obviously with kids, and some of these rooms will have bunk beds. We've got condos, a pool on top of the parking garage for the public to use, and then a bar area. It's really nice. This one is 3 times better than the one we saw in Pittsburgh, and it's new. So take a look at this.
This is what it's going to look like?
Yes. And it looks like, when you look at it now, it's like, doesn't look, but you see where the lake is and so on. But it's going to be fantastic and a good draw. They're having, hotels, some short-term rentals. They haven't decided how many. And then condos as well in here. So you'll be hearing more about it, but I thought it was, when they passed this around, I thought it was good that, we've read about it a lot, so I thought it was important that our board has a chance to see what's going on, but there's a lot of good information in here as well. Like Jack said, we've been busy, just everything X insurance, so we're just working on a couple things now, planning for when the race actually comes, so we'll just keep you abreast of that. And then tomorrow, talking about plans, Indiana Tourism Association is having a strategic plan board meeting. They haven't updated theirs in years, and usually, like with ours, it's a 3-year plan. This year is the last year for our strategic, so as we're finishing up the marketing and business, then we can look over and see what we need to tweak or change for the next 3 years, which would be 2024 to 2026. So that's moving forward. Like Jack said, we'll have some things done. This meeting is in Bloomington, Indiana, but I opt to do a Zoom. So I'll be part of that, the 4 hours, and then probably at one of our ITA board meetings, we'll go over this. They do have a facilitator, which really makes it nice. So we'll be getting information back in doc form to review, but it's good to have have that input, and with us doing one for all these years, I'm anxious to see what kind of input our state tourism agency is going to have. And other than that, I had the EDC information. One other thing, at this power breakfast, I had a chance to sit at the table with a developer out of Indianapolis. And I think it's been announced, but also as talking to him, they have picked 3 cities in the state of Indiana to do some development. One was Bloomington. I can't remember who the third one was, but it was south, and Michigan City was the third. So they're anxious to start looking at property and Evansville, yes, Evansville.
What type of development project?
They're just looking at, they really didn't pinpoint it,
Okay.
but I thought it was fortunate all the cities in the state of Indiana, Michigan City, and they've seen what's going on between the double track. Obviously, the lake always comes up, and you'll see that mentioned in here, that it's just, it's a place to be, and they want to be part of that. So we'll probably have more information on that as we move forward. But other than that, that's all I have for today.
Great, Linda, thanks. And it reminded me when Linda referred to one of her updates there that something that kind of got washed, got kind of overshadowed with X Insurance and the sponsorship stuff was we've readjusted our travel that we offer to folks to go to the rinks. We offer transportation because it's just become so the bottleneck trying to get into the park, squeeze all the people, and we've been doing that from day one. We've moved the options around. It's been at Ames Field the last couple of years where people will be able to go there. Linda worked with the folks at Premium Outlets this year, and we're back there. And that's going to be a great fit. Way, way better. It's closer to the event. Actually, some folks can park there and literally walk. A lot of them do now. It's going to change. It's going to change. But they've stepped up, Premium Outlets, and they've offered some other partnerships that are going to go along with this. And so it's going to be a great event. We're going to do some signage out there. It's going to be a really good change. So that I just that kind of got swept under the carpet a little bit as we talked about the bigger picture stuff. But little things like that are what really add to the race. A change like that. So I want to make sure you guys knew that was happening. So Amy's out today, so we can go right into the director's reports. According to the agenda, Michigan City's up first, so we'll go there.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I know everybody's just dying to hear what happened at the Easter egg hunt. It was very successful. Last year we did about 15,000 eggs, about 1,000 kids. It took 3.5 minutes. This year we did right around 20,000 eggs that were stuffed. And we had 350 golden ticket item prizes. So a lot for the kids. I had about 1,200 kids. They were slow this year. It took them almost 5 minutes to clear 20,000 eggs. So we're going to have to do a little work on that. But it was a very successful event. Had a lot of great partners involved in that. Taking in a lot of entries already for our Kitty Parade, which is on June 24th, and our Patriotic Parade on July 1st, so that's rolling on. The big event next for me, the freight train that's coming right at me, is the Singing Sand Sculpting Festival. A lot of exciting things happen. We'll be announcing our artist lineup next week. We've secured all of our artists for that, 6 master sculptors and 9 semi-professional sculptors. We turned away 16 artists who were begging to be a part of it, so that's really exciting. Not exciting that we turned them away, but exciting that there's that many artists, including 2 artists from India that plan to come. So that's going well. We're going to be announcing all of our sponsorships next week, including our partnership with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Once those are approved on Monday at the Board of Works meeting. We've got a couple of new sponsors, so the sponsorships are going well. The Community Challenge is the one I think I talked about at the last meeting. Community Challenge is our charitable component of this event. It's going a little slower than I was hoping. Right now it looks like we have 5 teams. Our target is 20. Our minimum target is 20, our maximum is 30. And that's basically just a quick recap. local organizations and companies can purchase a team for $2,000. It's a 6-person team. They'll get some professional instruction from the sand lovers on both Wednesday and Thursday night. They can come down and get some practice. And then on Saturday, they'll come and actually build a sculpture. They'll have 6 hours to build their own sculpture. And what they'll do is when they announce their team, they'll also announce a local LaPorte County charity nonprofit that they are actually working for and competing for.
Is it one for the whole thing, or is it one per project?
It's one. Each team picks their own charity.
Okay.
Now, a single charity can have multiple teams that have selected them. And if we hit 20 teams, that's going to put $20,000 into this pot for local charities. So, for example, the CVB will have a team as part of their major sponsorship. The CVB selects. Say they select the Salvation Army.
Just saying.
If they win the competition, the Salvation Army will receive a check for $5,000 from the event. The other exciting thing is every single charity that is represented in this event will receive something. So the top 5 teams will get larger cash payouts, but 6th place through 20 will all receive at least $500. So putting $20,000 back in the community is one of the reasons that I really wanted to do this event. If we can get to 30 teams, that's $30,000 back in. So anybody who can assist in reaching out to local companies, your friends that, all of the business partners that you all have, and let them know to get involved in this. It's going to be a great thing for the community. Plus, it's going to make the event amazing because you're going to have another 20 sculptures for people to go around and look at. Our vendor list is getting bigger and bigger, both food vendors and art craft merchandise. So I think it's going to be a great event. We're also hoping to be able to announce next week that we are contracting Neil Keenitz, who's the artist that does a lot of South Shore posters. He's actually doing one for the sand sculpture event. And that'll be a huge boost. And obviously an opportunity to make some friends with. So, other than that,
Hit us up again.
not much going on. So, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Thanks.
All right, good deal, thank you. So, LaPorte, Brett, you're up next.
Sure. We've got a lot going on as usual over at the Civic. This Friday, we have the Youth Service Bureau Trivia Night that was rescheduled from a weather date in March. I implore anyone here that hasn't signed up yet or your businesses, tables are only $100 each. All the money goes back to the Youth Service Bureau of LaPorte County. It is held at the Civic Auditorium this Friday. Doors open at 6. I think the trivia contest starts at 7. It's a fun night, great way to raise some money for the youth in LaPorte County. Youth Service Bureau does a lot of great things. Dale and Gail are both on the board with me. We're all on the board of directors for it, so all 3 of us implore you to get a team if possible. Let's see, on Saturday, the New Day Foundation has their fundraiser at the Civic Auditorium. Last year, they raised close to $60,000. All that money gets reinvested into our community to help with cancer patients, cancer treatments, families with loved ones that are going through cancer treatments. It's a great organization. We're so proud to have this for the 3rd year over at the Civic, and the fact that they were able to raise almost $60,000 last year, we're hoping they can beat that. But it just goes to demonstrate how important our building is, not just for community entertainment, but also to support our non-for-profits within the community as well. 2 fundraisers this weekend, all that money going back into our community. Let's see here. May 6th, we have LaPorte High School prom, and then May 13th, we have a free heart screening with Team 265. Play for Jake Foundation plays a major role in that. That heart screening will be in the morning from 8 to 12 for our youth. And then May 15th and 16th, we have the Cardin Family Circus coming back. They'll be having 2 shows each night, I believe 4:30 and 7:30 at the Civic. And then May 20th, we have what it proves to be our biggest concert to date for our tribute concert series. Queen Nation out of California. They're in the actual California Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This group was put together by a marketing agency in California in 2002 specifically for this type of event. They've played over 2,000 shows across the world. They're amazing. Great rendition and tribute to Freddie Mercury and the Queen music. We also have a local artist, Mike Barthel and the boys, coming up from Indianapolis. Mike's from LaPorte, Indiana. His father used to teach at LaPorte High School and coach. It's going to be a great evening. Doors open at 6. Everything starts at 7. That's Saturday, May 20th. The tables are sold out on the floor, but we still have plenty of balcony seats available. To catch everyone up on a few other things, it was announced earlier this week officially the collective is taking over the farmers market for the city of LaPorte, funded by the Urban Enterprise Association. That those will be held, I believe, on Sundays starting May 28th through the end of September. Please visit the website for the collective. I believe it's thecollectivein.com to get more information regarding that. Let's see here. Our first Friday Night Live is sponsored by Centier Bank. That's going to be Friday, June 16th. Normal location right downtown at the Monroe Street area called the La Stitch. And then, let's see, Friday, July 7th will be the Taco Fest, which has proved to be one of our most popular ones. And that one's going to be sponsored again by Arnett Construction. We're very happy to have them on board again. 3 years in a row for Taco Fest. Derek likes his tacos. We're staying busy. We have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow with all of subcontractors through Schneider at our building. We'll be closing down June 10th to start a renovation. A lot of things are going to start happening behind the scenes as early as tomorrow. We're going to be taking out one of the old boilers, and the seating renovation has already been scouted out. They've already plotted everything. We have the new diagram for our shell. The auditorium's going to be going from 1,382 seats to 1,160. All the seats are going to be at least 2 inches wider than they currently are, and they're going to be much more comfortable. So we're extremely excited. One of the added benefits of what we're doing with the balcony renovation is the fact that we're becoming more ADA responsible and compliant. We're adding handrails, we're adding lighting, we're adding wheelchair accessible seats in the balcony, which we currently don't have, except for finagling as much as we can. So we're really excited about that. Some of the seats are actually going to be removable, so we can even increase that if we need it. So very excited about the progress that we're showing at the Civic.
How do they get to the upper level?
Well, we have 4 stairwells, and we also have a lift that can accommodate 4 people.
Okay.
We're working on some grants possibly to add a second lift that would just go from the main floor to the balcony. We do see a need for that in the future, but that's progress is slow sometimes with government, but we're doing the best we can. One other thing, and I hate to do this to everybody because Lord knows in Terry and mine and Joy's job, this is what we do, and at the CVB. We now have a program called LaPorte Events. This is a fundraising arm. Not gonna lie, why reinvent the wheel? Very similar to what Valpo does with some of their stuff. So we copied the program a little bit, or at least the structure. And what this is going to really help us do is we get major sponsors for our events like the Friday Night Lives and some of our smaller stuff. What LaPorte Events is going to do is it's going to give us a way to attract donations from $25 up to $1,000. We stopped it at $1,000 because then once you get past that, we feel like we're looking at main sponsors, etc. This excludes the Sunflower Fair. It excludes the NIBC. It excludes Lake Fest, because those are 3 major hitters for us, and it's just a different structure that we need to do. But everything else we're trying to funnel into this, the downtown movie nights, the Santa Parade, things like that. We'll still have a name sponsor for a few of those, but this allows us to try to attract more dollars to add and augment and, I guess, offer more than what we currently can. So it's a great way, and hopefully, from my viewpoint, it keeps me from having to go ask people for money like you guys all the time for our events, and I'm sure Jack would appreciate that. So on that note.
No pressure.
Yeah, that's segues into my comments here. Just listening to Brett talk, those of you that were on the board back, you'll recall that Mayor Krentz approached us during his term and said we may be losing the Civic Auditorium. Okay, they were literally at a point financially where we didn't know which direction that was going to go, and they needed help with the position of Brett's position to help fund that. And because of your action, because of this board's action, look where we're at now. And that's pretty cool. Really good stuff. I mean, and I can't go anywhere now, and the buzz of everything that's happened at the Civic is amazing, and we're reaching so many different demographics. The stuff that we're offering there, and it's and now with the renovations. So that the stuff that we do here and helping them, and that segues right into Joy. Now we made the same kind of decision several years ago. Pat was instrumental in this discussion, and I and a couple others that there needed to be some help given to those that run our fairgrounds, and we got together and did some really good stuff. And again, the board approved the money to help fund the director's position, and so Joy's going to stand up now and tell you some of the good things that result of that.
Thank you for that segue. We're still in the, I would say, rebuilding process. So a lot of improvements going on out there, which I know we've talked about throughout the meetings that I've been in. I'll hit on that at the end, but a couple of events that are coming up. It is confirmed we will be hosting the fireworks for the 4th of July in LaPorte in conjunction with the city of LaPorte. So they'll be back out at the fairgrounds. It's a perfect place for that out there, perfect venue. Not a huge revenue maker for FMEC, but there should be a little bit on the back end of that. So hopefully that's something we continue to grow on as well. And then in our last meeting, we had talked about a couple of things that we're going to be looking into in the future years. So possibly doing a drone show coming in would be great if we could do something on the scale of like a PGA, like the big, or the PGI rather, coming in doing like a convention, so to speak. Because I know we want to be able to do something where we're drawing in the thousands of people to come in to make it worth everyone's while. And also it had been brought up when I first started, I saw some people asking, and actually Pat brought it up again too at our last meeting, talking about doing some kind of haunted, I don't want to say haunted house, but haunted experience or something in the month of October out there. On obviously a larger scale because we have the place out there. So I'm looking into some different ways of doing that. I've actually been looking up some stuff too, either having a company come in and help set that up to do it, to bring in people, or having our local groups be involved and do stuff too. So a lot of stuff to still work out, but just some ideas on that. But to backtrack and follow up on the improvements, I would say that the bathrooms down by the grandstand, they are already underway. Stuff has already started to happen on that, which is fantastic. Those are to be done by fair time. Yay, but we still having our regular bathrooms everywhere we go. So that will be done, along with some of the upgrades in the electrical area in the camping area and the campgrounds. Some of that will be done as well to help expand that for fair time, as well as our main goal and long-term goal in that area is to make it so it can become a year-round place for campers to go. It's amazing how many people call and ask to do that and to stay out there in the dead of winter and everything else. I don't know, I would be one of those people, but hey, more power to them. But that's our goal, to actually have that updated and done so that can be an option for them. So I'll continue to update you on all the improvements and then any information that I can pull on what we're looking for in the future years for those events coming in. So, thanks.
Just another thing, we are looking at also redoing the entrance.
Yes.
That's a big one, the look of when you first enter. So that's going to be it's not been designed yet.
No, Randy did say that we got a couple different sketches.
Right.
I haven't seen them yet that came in, but they did say they sent over some to redo that whole awning in the front and to change that up. So that'll change the whole look of that whole place, just doing that up front. So I'm excited to see what.
That'll be good too for people when they're driving by.
Absolutely.
To see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So much potential there. So thank you guys for being a part of that.
Good deal. Thank you.
Joy's doing a great job of corralling things for us out there. So the community building is going to have a new look to it, and most of it's already underway. But also, we're looking at potentially in the future putting an official kitchen in there, so that we can attract even more groups to that building, because that's a good moneymaker for the event. As you remember, when we started this whole adventure, I'll call it that, the Blue Ribbon Committee was formed, and then from the Blue Ribbon Committee, we actually formed the 501c3, which is now FMEC. And in doing that, the goal was to make that facility self-sufficient. And we wanted to just jump right in with the events, but as we got involved, we found a lot of things needed to be improved out there and just basically made safe. And so we had to do a lot of infrastructure improvements to the facility before we can go out and really market it globally for people to come out and, invest in our property. So we're well underway with all of that, and I think within the next couple of years, we're really going to see some exciting things happen out there. So just wanted to give you kind of a recap for the new board members to understand the connection there. Because it is a county activity and because that fairgrounds is an absolute wonderful asset to have, especially for what we do at the Tourism Bureau, to bring people into the county, heads and beds. That helps us, and then we can use that money to help market the facility and put more money back into it so that more money comes into the county and into our taxpayers' relief fund, I'll call it that. Because the more we can generate events out there, the less taxpayer dollars has to go into it, because that property is owned by the county. Just so that you all know.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good, so,
Get PGI back.
Well, that's why we're looking at the drone show, because it's kind of like on that scale, but it's less.
Louder, so.
Intrusive.
Yeah, all those words. Yeah, there was a lot of community reluctance to the PGI, the noise, and just all the stuff that was going on with PGI. I mean, I love PGI, but I didn't live right next door to it like some of the properties. So logistically, that presented some challenges for the fairgrounds to have it there. And so now we're looking at things like the drone show. And the drone show, from what I've seen, is, absolutely something that I think would really work out there. But, and that could bring in some of those dollars that we're looking at.
yeah. Although officially PGI is not off the table.
No, it's not.
It's to answer your question. Actually, some of the problems this year weren't even ours. Because we were in a bad spot with the contract, and PGI had to go ahead and move forward before we could start addressing some of the local concerns, which are very much legitimate, as Pat pointed out. Very much, those got to be addressed. But the doggone contract had to get advanced, so we kind of just a few days short of being in the mix. But that event, as you know, is in my tenure here, the only one that has such a multi-faceted revenue stream. You not only have a couple thousand delegates that are here for the whole week for training, but then we also open it up to visitors to come in and see the shows, which brings in hundreds of thousands of people, 4 nights. So, that's a different type of event. But the problem is a little bit of a challenge with what they do. Yeah, and so we're working through that. Good stuff, though. I appreciate it.
Like it was always very
Good
for the county.
Yeah, it is.
And
It is good.
It has great potential, really.
Yeah.
We just got to get it worked out
Yeah.
so that people understand what we're trying to do, and then not as the word intrusive. I guess I heard somebody say that word, not to be so intrusive into the community.
Yep, good question. So, Angie's not here. I did talk with her yesterday. Matter of fact, she reached out late yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, said we got some overflow, we need a couple places to house some people and to meet, and Dale got on it right away, and we were able to move about 100 people and get them fed last night, and that's the kind of relationship, of course, we have with them, with their overflow, and so that was really great. And then lastly, I didn't say it earlier, but we did have a chance between when we saw you last month at Blue Chip, and now to get all of our logos done, and that was a big deal. That was huge because now we can go ahead with our VIP stuff, and which folks are clamoring for. I mean, really, they're just after us to get that out, and so we're able to get the big stuff approved through X Insurance, and then Terry stepped up and he helped with that too. But he's got some program stuff that lets gives him the ability to provide some logos, and then he's got some skill sets there that work well. He also came up with a logo for the Aquacross event in Michigan City, and Rick, we need to make sure to follow up on that to see if Michelle's got any questions, but I just backtracked this morning, and we sent that to her on the 18th. So see if she's okay with that, yeah. But anyway, we got logos approved and we're moving forward. I just wanted to throw that out. And lastly, I just want to thank Nelson. During the time period going into our meeting last month and a few weeks before that, we had a flurry, as you know, of contracts that came out. Many of them brand new, changing. The big one, the park department actually changed the way they did their structuring of our contract. And so Nelson and I had a period of I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks there where, I mean, I couldn't even tell which contract we were talking about, back and forth so much. And he really did a good job of getting that stuff formulated, and it's been an interesting year because everything changed. Usually they're kind of boilerplated, you know, you can go out the next year and go out. That wasn't the case this year at all. Everything started from scratch, and he really did a good job getting everything ready for you all to look at. And he missed the meeting that we needed. He was, I think you were in court though, right? Yeah, so that's I guess that's, you know, so Pat, that's all, unless anybody's got any questions.
Yeah. Do you have anything, Nelson, that you want to add as far as the contracts and maybe moving forward, looking at some things, or?
No, you know, it's nice whenever we're able to, you know, like Jack said, work together to really hammer out some of those details. Then when it comes to me, it's just, you know, making sure that the language is correct and that the deal is done. But the CBB staff does such a great job of, you know, forming everything, and I just got to make sure it's, you know, legal.
Yeah.
So as far as the details, I don't have anything to add. I'm sure you guys have all taken a look. Obviously, we passed it, but if anything comes up, feel free to give me a call and let me know if you have any questions, and I can get to you on specifics.
All right. Okay, do we have any unfinished business? Any new business? Board comments. Just want to remind everybody that on May 5th, Dr. J will be at Blue Chip Casino. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, there's tickets still available. This is the Anthony Adams House, which is a homeless shelter for homeless and runaway youth. And it's a new organization, about 3 or 4 years old at this point. But doing some great things. Last year they had Sugar Ray Leonard there. And just want to make sure that's out there because before Michael Jordan, Dr. J was Michael Jordan. Just in case you all don't know that. So yeah, if you do have a chance, go out and check that out. Anything else? If not, the meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Good.